And now, welcome to this session.
This interactive session demonstrates how designing for accessibility improves overall user experience and business outcomes, featuring practical demos and strategies for integrating accessibility into development workflows to enhance innovation and market reach. Our next speaker is a web accessibility designer and certified professional in accessibility core competencies. Her passion for inclusive design was ignited when she won first place in the 2022 Accessibility Internet Rally. As co-founder of Web Accessibility Philippines, she's dedicated to spreading awareness about digital inclusivity. To discuss how you can boost your bottom line by making software usable for everyone, please welcome Ms. Kat Perez Juan.
Hey everyone, can you guys hear me? Type in yes on the chat. Yes, all right. Okay, let me just share my screen. Ayan. How about my screen? Kita naman, yes. All right, sige. Of course. Ayan. All right, so I guess we are ready to start. So let me introduce myself. My name is Kat Perez Juan. I'm the co-founder of Web Accessibility PH, and my background is in UX and product management. Yeah. So today we're going to discuss the return on investment of web or digital accessibility. So we'll try to make this a little interactive para hindi kayo makatulog. So I will be asking for your inputs at some parts of this talk. So to answer my questions, just type in on the chat. Okay? Okay ba? All right. So I guess my first question to check if you're still awake since after lunch ito, my first question is, when was the last time you personally observed or watched someone use your product or your software? Was it yesterday, maybe last week, last month, or never? Just now. Awesome. How about the others? Yesterday. Ah, galing ah. A long time ago. Yesterday. All right. Awesome. Thank you so much for chiming in. So, for those who answered na medyo recent, like yesterday, awesome. That's good for you. Congratulations. That's how you do it. And for those who answered never or maybe those na hindi sumagot, ayaw ipaalam ang sagot. So for those who answered never or maybe medyo matagal na, I think it's about time that you revisit and reevaluate and revalidate your products with your users. Okay, I think ready to get started. So, did you guys know that according to the World Health Organization, about 15 to 20% of the global population, or an estimated 1.3 billion people, currently experience significant disability? And this number continues to grow, driven by an aging population and the rise of diseases like stroke and vision loss from diabetes. And itong mga conditions na to greatly affect how people interact and use technology. In many cultures, unfortunately, including us, the Philippines, disability is often frowned upon or viewed negatively. Parang masama siya. But it's important to recognize that disability is a natural part of life. According to US Senator Tom Harkin, disability is the largest minority group that anyone can enter at any time. This emphasizes the reality that we are all potential members of this group. Tama? So it makes it even more important to build products with accessibility in mind. So I would like to introduce you to my very good friend Rhea. Rhea is an active technology user and she is also totally blind. So while she has a visual disability, Rhea uses technology on a daily basis to stay connected with friends and family, to shop online, and even work. Okay, so let's hear a bit about her. Let me play the video. Let me know if you can hear the video, okay?
Hi, I am Rhea Altea Gontalilib. I am an IAAP certified accessibility specialist and was recently certified by the UX Design Institute of Ireland as a UX professional. And I also founded Accessible Clicks, an accessibility consulting firm. Yes, I am totally blind, but I am an active technology user. And that became possible because of assistive technologies or assistive tools. So there are several assistive tools out there for different disabilities. But for me, as a blind person, the most important tool for me is the screen reader. I use NVDA and JAWS for my Windows computer, and I use VoiceOver for my iPhone. So essentially, my screen reader is my digital eye. So it is a text to speech application that converts contents like text or elements like buttons, links into audio output, which allows me to navigate digital spaces. But the only thing there is I don't have any special computer, so no special keyboard as well. The only difference is I don't use the mouse, and of course, I have screen readers installed. With the help of my screen reader, I am able to do what you sighted people can do, be it sending messages, sending emails, using social media, accessing different applications, or even exploring new applications. So basically, yeah, my screen reader empowers me to interact with technology independently.
All right, so Rhea will be joining us in this session through video recordings. So, as we explore the importance of digital accessibility. So, as she mentioned, technology plays a huge role in her life, and tools like her screen reader help her navigate websites and apps. But here's the catch: when products are not designed with accessibility in mind, it can lead to frustration, and more than that, it means missed business opportunities. So let's learn more about accessibility. Ayan, starting with the definition of the word accessible. So, according to Merriam Webster, the word accessible is defined as something that can easily be reached, something that is easy to communicate with, something that is approachable and accommodating, something that's can be used or seen by everyone, something that is easy to understand or appreciate, and something that can be influenced or adjusted by people or those interacting with it. So, in short, accessibility is all about creating physical and digital spaces that everyone can access, can use, and can understand, regardless of their abilities or disabilities. So, speaking of, disabilities are broader than most people realize. So, especially in the Philippines, no, I think culturally, isa lang yung way of thinking natin about disabilities. But let me explain. So, it can be permanent, temporary, or situational. So, permanent disabilities are long term or lifelong disabilities like blindness or deafness. Now, temporary disabilities naman are short-term conditions. So, for example, you broke your arm while playing a sport. And because of that broken arm, you are unable to use a mouse or a keyboard effectively for maybe a few days or a few months. Situational disabilities occur in specific contexts, no? So for example, you're trying to have a conversation or a chica with a friend in a very noisy bar. So because of that noise, it can be difficult to communicate, and it may be similar to the challenges faced by someone with a hearing disabilities. And of course, let's not forget the impact of aging. So while many of us are very tech savvy now, well, we are all in the IT industry, diba? But we all age. And we can also face unexpected life events like illnesses or accidents. So, as our abilities change, tasks that were once very simple can become very challenging. So, even for those of us who have grown up or lived with technology all our lives, we can and we will eventually face barriers and challenges if accessibility is not integrated into the products that we have right now. So on the screen, I'm showing dalawang lists. On the left, you'll see examples of visible disabilities like dwarfism, amputation. So these are conditions that are often immediately noticeable. Madali lang siyang makita. Obvious siya na may disability. On the right, we have examples of invisible disabilities like hearing loss, epilepsy, or dyslexia. So these are conditions na hindi naman super obvious, like you wouldn't know if someone has a dyslexia unless sabihin nila sa'yo, right? So it's important to remember that many disabilities are invisible. In fact, 71% of people with disabilities have non visible disabilities. So, just because we don't see them doesn't mean they don't exist. Okay, so some users may not also identify as having a disability. So, for example, ako, I don't typically consider myself as a person with a disability, but if you remove my glasses, then that's going to be a different story. I'll be functionally blind. So for businesses and products, this means that if accessibility is not prioritized, both of your current and your future customers may find it difficult to engage with your products. Ayan. So my question for you guys, take a look at the form. How do you feel about this checkout form? Like, if you have to fill this form, do you think you can complete this form easily? Please type in your responses on the chat. Nakikita nyo ba yung form? Can you guys see the form? Ayan. So, somehow yes, yes. All right. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of yeses. So, mukhang madali siyang i-fill up. Awesome. All right. So now, let's watch Rhea interact with this form.
Assuming that at this point, I have already selected a product to purchase, and now I am already in the checkout process. So the goal is to check whether this checkout form is accessible for me to be able to complete my purchase. So to give context, for screen reader users like me, the most common way for us to navigate through forms is by using the tab key. So let me start.
Main region, edit required, blank, type in text, required as pop-up.
Okay. So I landed on the first form field, and unfortunately, I didn't hear the field label, and this one is required. So the problem here is I'm not aware what to input in this field.
Edit required, blank, type in text, required as pop-up.
Same thing with the next field. Again, it's required, and the field name is not announced.
Edit required, blank, type in text, required as pop-up.
So as with the third field,
Edit required, blank, type in text, required as pop-up.
At this point, I already have, a wild guess, or I already have an idea that, well, I wouldn't be able to complete this form because I failed to answer the required fields. But to continue testing.
Combo box required, Alabama. To change the selection, use the arrow keys.
Okay, so this one, it is a combo box, and based from the initial option provided, I think this is asking for the state.
Alaska, Arizona.
Okay, so I just randomly select one. The issue again is in announcing the field name.
To change the selection, press up or down arrow. Radio button not checked, 1 of 3.
So as with this next element. So again, I didn't hear what is being asked. So the field name is not announced. It automatically said radio button. And the problem with this option is it just announced radio button, and it didn't announce any label for the radio button. So assuming I want to select this one.
Space.
So the selected state is not conveyed as well. Okay, so I'll try to move to the next element.
To change the selection, press up or down arrow. Radio button not checked, 2 of 3. To change the selection, press up or down arrow. Radio button not checked. 3 of 3. Add dash on one checkbox not checked. To check, press space bar.
Okay, so there's a next element, which is a checkbox. Well, the difference here is, at least I heard this is add-on 1, and it's a check.
Add dash on two checkbox not checked. To check, press space bar.
It's an add-on 2. Let's say I want to select the second add-on, so let me try to select the check.
Space.
Unfortunately, the selected state is also not conveyed. So like for me, in a real-life scenario, if I wasn't able to fill up required fields, I wasn't able to select items from radio buttons or checkboxes. So, well, the next thing that I would do is, well, definitely I will abort the process and will not continue with the purchase. So technically, I am a lost customer.
Ayun. So as you saw, Rhea could not finish filling out the form. Well, in fact, she could not even fill out the form and had to abandon the checkout. So what's important to note here is that at first glance, the form looks easy to use, or it looks straightforward. Diba? Sabi nyo nga kanina, you can complete the form, right? But as we've just witnessed, accessibility issues can make something that seem very simple to do become a huge challenge for others, especially for people with disabilities. And this is probably why many people, many of us don't see accessibility as a priority. Kasi on the outside, it seems fine, it seems usable, it seems simple, di ba? But for people with disabilities, these small barriers or challenges can make a huge difference. And this is also what I meant kanina when I said, if accessibility is not prioritized, it means missed business opportunities. Kasi look at that. We just lost one customer just because she can't fill out the form. Ayan. So, yan. After seeing Rhea's video, I'm very curious to know. So, please ready to type your answers. Yan. Do you think you've ever created or built inaccessible digital products? Please, yes. Thank you for admitting. Ayan. Nako, marami nga. Maraming salamat sa pagiging honest. Thank you. And my second question would be, were you aware at that time when you built the product, no, that these experiences were creating barriers for users like Rhea? No, you weren't aware. Actually, no. Nope. Okay. Okay. Awesome. It's fine. At least now you know, right? Ayan. So for those who may have been already aware, if you were aware, no, how did you find out, and most importantly, what did you do about it? Meron bang aware na ayaw lang umamin? Sige, palulusutin natin. Kung ayaw niyo umamin, it's fine. But if you were aware and you haven't done anything yet, okay? I hope that this talk convinces you to finally take action. Okay ba? All right. So now let's talk about the business case of digital accessibility. One of the most powerful benefits of investing in accessibility is its impact on brand reputation and customer loyalty. So companies that prioritize inclusivity, they often build trust and loyalty within their user base, including people with disabilities and their wide support networks. So ito yung very common objection na naririnig ko every time I discuss about digital accessibility, no? Kat, we don't have disabled users. So we don't need this. Maybe next year, maybe never. But are you sure you don't have disabled users? Have you thought about the fact that maybe you don't have disabled users because your products are not accessible in the first place? Tama? After all, the lack of data is not data in itself. Am I right? So, people with disabilities are more likely to become loyal customers when they find a product that works well for them, and they will gladly spread the word. So, from my experience, and because I have friends within the disability community, I can tell you that information spreads quickly in this space. So, when a product is accessible, word of mouth travels fast, and so does the loyalty that comes with it. So, Apple is a very good example of this. So, I'm showing a photo of an iPhone accessibility setting showing the voiceover feature turned on. So Apple's voiceover screen reader has transformed the ways the visually disabled users interact with their devices. So if you remember, Rhea uses voiceover, di ba? Sabi niya kanina. Apple's commitment to accessibility has earned them several prestigious awards. So right now, I'm showing screenshots of articles about Apple winning awards like the Robert S. Bray Award and the Helen Keller Achievement Awards. So these awards solidify Apple's reputation as a leader in inclusive design and innovation. So it's the Apple, they have been consistently perceived as socially responsible and forward thinking. And they also gain recognition not only for their accessible products, but also for their dedication to all of their users. Imagine they include people with disabilities with their products. So the real world impact of Apple's accessible products and features like the voiceover, along with these awards and recognitions, demonstrate that accessibility enhances brand reputation and it drives more users to adopt their products. Ayan, story time. So in November 2023, si Rhea shared her frustration on social media about GoTime. So GoTime is a digital banking app if you don't know yet. Despite the app's potential to make banking easy for blind Filipinos, the interface was not very accessible. But GoTime's quick response demonstrated their commitment to accessibility and inclusivity. Their senior UX researcher reached out to Rhea and they set a meeting. So, nung January, GoTime's head designer, along with the product team, met with Rhea to discuss improvements based on her feedback. So, while further updates are still pending, the mere fact that the company engaged with Rhea and took her concerns seriously has already strengthened their brand reputation. So, in fact, after Rhea shared her positive experience with GoTime team, many others from the blind community signed up for the app. So, this highlights the powerful ripple effect of listening to your customers. Tama? This story also shows how brands prioritize accessibility. They don't only gain loyal customers, but they also benefit from positive word of mouth. When a company truly listens and acts on user feedback, it builds trust and loyalty and it drives brand growth. Ayan, accessibility benefits everyone. So I think you may have heard this phrase so many times, but maybe you are not yet convinced. So let me try to convince you. So ready your typing skills? I have a question for you again. So how many of you watch videos with subtitles or closed captions? Always, I do. Me. Ayan. Yes. So I personally watch videos with closed captions kasi I like watching animes, I like watching K-dramas and J-dramas and such, no? So did you know that closed captions were actually originally designed for people with hearing disabilities? Para kahit hindi nila naririnig, naiintindihan nila yung content. So it was for people with hearing disabilities but mukhang maraming nag-yes sa chat, right? So this is just a very clear example of how designing and building with accessibility in mind creates a better experience for everyone. So, the takeaway, brands that integrate accessibility into their strategies are perceived as innovative and socially responsible. This reputation strengthens public trust and it attracts loyal customers who appreciate inclusive design. Accessibility boosts customer satisfaction because it makes digital products easier to use for a wider audience. Etong accessibility, this ensures that everyone can engage with your products seamlessly. And then when businesses prioritize accessibility, they benefit everyone. So not just people with disabilities, just like the closed captions, no? This approach helps companies stand out in a very competitive market. This fosters a stronger customer loyalty and it secures a lasting competitive advantage. Ayan. So if there's one thing that many businesses overlook, it's the immense market potential within the disability community. According to the 2020 Return on Disability report, 1.85 billion people globally identify as having a disability. This is back in 2020 pa ha. This market is larger than the populations of China and India in 2022. Imagine. So, this makes the PWD population one of the largest consumer groups globally with $13 trillion in annual disposable income. Laki, right? So let me show you the graph. So this is from the 2020 Return on Disability Report, and it highlights the substantial disposable income of the PWD market. So globally, people with disabilities directly control $1.9 trillion, while their friends and family add another $10.71 trillion. Yan. So obviously, these numbers emphasize the enormous market potential of the PWDs. This next graph shows the demographic analysis of the disability market. So the first part, it shows a breakdown where 29% have visible conditions, like people who use the wheelchairs. And then, as mentioned earlier, 71% have non visible disabilities. But what we often overlook is that this market includes their friends and their family, advocates and evangelists for accessibility. And this expands the potential reach to 73% of global consumers. We're missing out, guys. So, the takeaway, prioritizing accessibility drives financial growth. When your products are accessible, you're not just serving people with disabilities, you are tapping into a broader market. So, friends, family, and support networks of people with disabilities also advocate for inclusive businesses. With billions in potential consumer spending, accessibility drives real financial growth. Agree? Prioritizing accessibility expands your reach. So, by making your products accessible, you can serve a wider audience and you can reach customers who may have been excluded by other products because of accessibility barriers. This broader reach creates opportunities for business growth that many other competitors may be missing out on. Accessibility is a human right. According to the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, or the UNCRPD, access to information and communication technologies, including the internet, is a fundamental right for people with disabilities. So countries worldwide have strict regulations and they require businesses to ensure digital accessibility. Non-compliance can result in costly penalties and reputational damage. So I'll show you some key regulations globally. So in the USA, they have the Americans with Disabilities Act, or the ADA. This prohibits discrimination against people with disabilities in all public spaces, including the digital space. Now, there are two major lawsuits that demonstrate the implications of non-compliance. Yan. So in 2006, the National Federation of the Blind sued Target because they have an inaccessible website. So it was impossible for people with visual disabilities to shop online. The outcome led to a $6 million settlement. Imagine that amount. And they also required Target to make their website accessible. Ibig sabihin, they had to redesign and rebuild their websites. And then in 2003, ayan, ito medyo recent, Brian Bashin, a California resident with vision loss, encountered accessibility barriers nung nag-try siya mag-book ng campsite sa reservecalifornia.com. So this is quite a unique case because instead of suing the website owner, so ang website owner ay si California Department of Parks and Recreation, Brian Bashin's legal team targeted the development contractors. So yung contractors ay si Conduent State and Local Solutions Inc. and USE Direct because they failed to meet their obligations to make sure that the website is accessible. And this case resulted in a $2 million settlement. Plus, it highlights the fact that software development companies can be held liable for accessibility failures. Take note of that. In the EU, they have the European Accessibility Act or the EAA, and it mandates that a range of products and services, including online experiences like e commerce websites and mobile apps, are accessible to people with disabilities. And they have a deadline. By June 2025, all public and private sector websites in the EU must comply. Now, the thing is, it includes businesses that are based outside of the EU, pero they do business within their borders. So kahit Philippine-based ka but you have a business in the EU, you have to comply. Ireland has implemented one of the strictest digital accessibility regulations in Europe. So failure to comply sa Ireland ay it can result in fines, pwede kang makulong up to 18 months in prison or both. An example of enforcement sa EU happened early this year, March 2024. So si Spanish National High Court, they fined Vueling Airlines 90,000 euros and they banned the airlines from receiving public funds for 6 months just because they failed to comply with web accessibility standards. So, you may ask, no, paano dito, Kat? Philippines, anong meron sa atin? So, quick intro, according to the National Council on Disability Affairs or the NCDA, there are nearly 2 million Filipinos who are registered as persons with disabilities. So take note, these are just the registered PWDs. Hindi kasama dito yung hindi pa nakapag-register. Hindi kasama dito yung mga taong may temporary disabilities and may situational disabilities. So while the Philippines has yet to implement strict digital accessibility laws, wala pa masyado, there have been promising efforts to ensure digital platforms are accessible to people with disabilities. So in the next few slides, I'll be including QR codes that will take you to the resources. So the first one is from the NCDA. So they have published the accessible website design guidelines to promote web accessibility. These guidelines emphasize features like keyboard navigation, text alternatives, proper color contrast. Yan, yun yung included sa mga guidelines. And then sa DICT, they have the Memorandum 2017-004, which recommends that all government websites and applications follow the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines 2.0 standards. This ensures that all public services are accessible to people with disabilities. Although, honestly, I'm not sure how strict this is being implemented kasi if you randomly check on government websites, we can still find na hindi pa sila masyadong accessible. So, yeah. And then, very recently, Senate Bill 1700, which was filed January 2023, this aims to further strengthen accessibility by proposing legal requirements, finally, for accessible digital platforms and services. So, although this is not yet approved or enacted, this bill shows a growing momentum towards stronger accessibility regulations here in the Philippines. So the takeaway, accessibility is not just a nice to have, it's a must have. Okay? Ulitin ko, it's a must have. Failure to meet legal standards can result in lawsuits, in fines, and of course, harm to your brand. Maiiskandalo kayo eh. So in the Philippines, while web accessibility laws are not yet as strict as the US and the EU, and other countries pa, the recent initiatives show that it won't be long before stronger regulations are enforced. So it is always better to get ahead now than wait for a mandate and then mapwersa pa kayo to redesign and rebuild your products. Kumbaga, start now. Bakit pa antayin natin yung law, right? And this just means that prioritizing accessibility ensures compliance with the current and the future legal requirements. It protects your businesses from financial risks, and it also demonstrates a commitment to inclusivity, all while supporting sustainable business growth. So many of you might be asking, no? Eh, hindi naman ako business owner eh, Kat. So what's in it for me? Hindi ako affected dito, hindi ako business owner. As an individual contributor, understanding and learning about digital accessibility benefits you in many ways. So, first, it increases your value. Accessibility is becoming a priority across different industries, right? And mastering these skills make you a valuable asset to any team. Second, it future proofs your career. As digital experiences become more inclusive, expertise and accessibility will position you for the long term in a fast paced and evolving career landscape. It expands your expertise. So, adding accessibility into your already existing technical skill set allows you to contribute more meaningfully kasi syempre mas aware ka na about accessibility, di ba? So, it allows you to contribute across different projects more meaningfully, mas inclusive ka na. And then lastly, it keeps you relevant. So, with more organizations adopting to inclusive practices, staying up to date with accessibility knowledge ensures that your skills remain competitive. So, in short, learning about digital accessibility is an investment in your professional future. Yeah. So, earlier, we saw Rhea encounter challenges while navigating somewhat a simple looking form. Tama? So now let's take a look at how she interacts with an accessible version of the form. Are you guys ready?
Okay, for this next part, again, assuming that I have already selected a product that I want to purchase, and then I'll go through the same checkout process. And this time, let's see how it differs from my first experience a while ago. So again, I'm going to use the tab key.
Full name edit required as pop-up blank type in text.
Okay, so it said full name required. So upon landing on this form field, it's very clear to me that I need to input my first name. My full name.
R-H-E-A space G-U-S-I-I-D. Full name edit required Ray Gonzalez.
Then tab again to the next field.
Email edit required as pop-up blank type in text.
It says I have to input my email.
R-H-E-A@A-C-C-E-S-S-I-D-L-E-C-L-I-C-A-S Clear-C-O-M. Street address edit required as pop-up blank type in text.
Street address is
3 required. 6 space S-T. City edit required as pop-up blank type in text.
This one is city.
T-A-G-U-I-G. City edit required tagging. State combo box required. Alabama. To change the selection, use the arrow key.
And for this one, I no longer need to guess because instantly it was announced that I need to input a state.
Alaska.
Or I need to select a state from the combo box.
Arizona. Arkansas. California. Enter expanded required. List required with 5 items. California 5 of 5.
And the next one, so
State combo box required. California. To change the selection, press up or down arrow. Payment option group. Cash radio button not checked. One.
okay, so this time around, the radio button, I am now aware that it is asking for payment option. So I'm going to use my arrow key.
Credit card radio button checked. 2 of 3. To change the selection, press up or down arrow.
Credit card,
Cash radio button checked. 1 of 3. To change the selection, press
Cash.
credit. PayPal radio button checked. 3 of 3. To
PayPal. So say for example, I want to select cash.
credit card radio. Cash radio button checked. 1 of 3. To change the selection, press up or down arrow.
Okay, this time I know that this radio button is in option for the cash payment. And not only that, but it also announced radio button selected. So the state of the radio button is clearly announced to me. So I'm ready to proceed to the next feed.
Select add dash ons group. Add dash on 1 checkbox not checked. To check, press space bar.
Now for the add-ons. Okay, so let's say I would like to select the third add-on.
Add dash on 2 checkbox not checked. To add dash on 3 checkbox not checked. To check, press space bar.
So now I'm going to use the space bar, by the way, for screen reader users like me. If we want to like select something in a checkbox element, we use the space bar.
Space checked.
So, okay, it says check. So again, it was clearly conveyed to me that the add-on 3 was checked or was selected. Okay, so moving on to the next element.
Submit payment button to activate. Press enter.
At this point, I'm confident that I was able to fill up all the required fields. I was able to select from the radio button and checkbox options. So I'm ready to submit the form.
Enter. Form has been submitted. Save address, close. Address : Ray Gontalib 36 as accessible.
Okay, so the submit control, it's clearly announced to me that it is a button. It's clearly labeled. I was able to identify it as a button to submit. And after doing so, the notification or the success message was clearly conveyed to me as well. So if the checkout process is as smooth as this one, I'll be able to, well, purchase online independently and maximize my purchasing power, even if I am totally blind.
Ayan. So as you've seen, Rhea was able to complete the task or complete the form independently and easily. If only our digital interactions are designed and built with accessibility in mind, it would not only empower people with disabilities to engage with our digital products, it will also unlock new opportunities for businesses to serve a broader audience. So, in this case, di ba, nakapag-check out siya. So, kahit totally blind siya, that's added revenue to the business, that's added customer, right? So by making your products accessible, you create a more inclusive digital world by while ensuring long-term business growth. Ayan. So maraming tips on how to make your products accessible. But I'm just going to give you five lang kasi mahabang discussion yon. That's a different talk. So first one, clearly label form fields so the screen readers can communicate exactly what information is needed. So this ensures that users with visual disabilities can complete forms independently. So just like what we've seen earlier, one of the changes that was done there is minake sure na merong label yung bawat field. So as you witnessed, Rhea was able to understand, this is for full name, this is for street address, etc. My next tip will be to add clear text alternatives for images and UI elements. So I think, medyo guilty ako dito before. Most developers or designers forget to add text alternatives for images. Okay, so let's not do that. Text alternatives allow users who rely on screen readers to understand the content of the images and the interactive elements. Without descriptions, people with visual disabilities may miss out on important information. So for example, graph pala siya, and then you did not add a text alternative. Paano maiintindihan ng people or ng blind person kung ano yung graph kung para saan yun, right? Third tip is to include captions and transcripts for audio and video content. This ensures that people with hearing disabilities can fully understand your multimedia content. So another thing is that yung transcripts, They are also helpful for people who prefer to read rather than watch videos. And this improves the inclusivity of your content. So, personally, I prefer reading or skimming over long text. Yung mas gusto ko magbasa rather than manood ng napakamahabang informative video. So, yeah, that's it. And then fourth, make sure there is enough contrast between text and the background. This ensures that your text content is easy to read, especially for users with low vision or color blindness. This very simple change can dramatically improve the legibility and the readability of your content. And then last tip for the day, ensure keyboard accessibility. So as Rhea mentioned earlier, no, she uses the tab key to navigate websites. And many other users like those with physical or mobility disabilities, they rely on keyboards or other assistive technologies. So making sure that all interactive elements like the buttons or the menus are keyboard accessible, it makes your products usable kahit walang mouse, and this opens it up to a wider audience. So, while these 5 tips won't solve everything, these small adjustments can make a world of difference, ensuring that your products are accessible and usable by more and more people. And so now that we know how to start, let's make sure that these improvements are sustainable in the long run. But just remember guys na accessibility is not a one-time project. Hindi to kaya ng isang sprint. This is not a one-time project. It's an ongoing effort that evolves with emerging technologies and the needs of users with disabilities. Syempre, nagbabago yung mga needs natin, no? Even people without disabilities, nag-change ang needs. Yan. So, my first tip is to create a roadmap for accessibility improvements. Start by evaluating your current digital products. Check nyo alin dito yung accessible, which parts are accessible, which parts are inaccessible. You can prioritize low-hanging fruits or quick wins para mabilis lang i-fix, like color contrast. Yan, mabilis lang yan ayusin. And then you can move to the critical fixes. So create a roadmap for ongoing improvement. So again, ongoing lang siya, hindi siya natatapos. The point is to start somewhere and start now, as in now, like after this, now na. Small changes will create a ripple effect in your processes and it will reflect in your products definitely. Next is train and collaborate. So regular training ensures that accessibility knowledge is always up to date and is integrated into your workflows. Eto na, accessibility is not the responsibility of one team. Hindi lang ito for developers, okay? It's a shared effort across your entire organization. So from designers to developers to product managers and other stakeholders, especially your C levels, everyone needs to be involved in understanding accessible practices. When all teams work together and accessibility is a part of your DNA, it becomes an integral part of your process. So, magiging part na siya ng process at hindi na siya something na iisipin mo after pa, na ilabas nyo na yung product, tsaka nyo palang isipin, ay, hindi pala accessible. Right? My third tip is to conduct regular audits and testing. So, it's important to conduct it's a combination of automated and manual testing. So, for automated tools like Wave or Axe for websites, yun yung mga um, automated tools. And then for mobile, there is Accessibility Scanner. So, these tools help you identify issues like color contrast, heading hierarchy, or landmark issues, yung mga ganyan. But just remember that automated tools can only catch 20 to 30% of accessibility issues. Hindi niya kaya i-catch lahat. And this is why manual testing is important. So manual testing, it's critical for addressing issues na miss out ni automated tools, and this also ensures a more thorough audit, especially for elements na kailangan ng human judgment. So for example, you have to check if the text alternative is actually meaningful, right? So human judgment yon. But beyond automated and manual testing, real world testing with users with disabilities is paramount. That's the top one. Yun talaga. Engaging with the disability community gives you direct insight into how they actually experience your products, and it helps you uncover usability challenges that even manual testing can miss out. And then lastly, eto lang hihilingin ko sa inyo publicly. Please be very, very cautious of using accessibility overlays because they can create a false sense of compliance without addressing the real and underlying issues in your code. If I can say very directly, just don't use accessibility overlays at all. Wag na. Lastly, treat accessibility like security. So just as you will not release a product without ensuring its security, di ba? Accessibility should be treated with the same level of importance. By making accessibility a priority at the beginning, you save time, you save money, and you ensure a smoother and more inclusive user experience. Ayan. Anyone familiar with this picture? Familiar kayo dyan? What are you seeing right now? Ayan, I'm seeing a lot of laugh reacts. Ayan, so think of the MMDA ramp as a real-world example of what happens when accessibility is treated as an afterthought. In this case, roller coaster. A ramp was added to a public space, but because it was not designed with accessibility considerations from the very beginning, it ended up being costly and obviously very ineffective, 'di ba? So the same applies to digital products because retrofitting accessibility later is far more expensive and less effective than planning for it from the outset. Yan. Final thoughts, we're almost done. So for my final thoughts, hiking trail, pwede. Yan. So remember that digital accessibility is not just a moral obligation. It's a smart business move. By serving a larger and often underserved market, including people with disabilities and their support networks, you can significantly boost your revenue, your customer loyalty, and your brand reputation. Designing with accessibility in mind is not just about doing the right thing. It enhances usability of your products, it sparks innovation, and it broadens your market reach by catering to a wider audience. Kasi syempre, mas maraming tao nang kayang gumamit ng products nyo. And then, think of accessibility as a long-term investment. It's not an extra feature. Dapat kasama siya sa product nyo. Just like security, it is important to your product's success. The sooner you integrate it, the more cost effective and impactful it becomes. And it benefits both of your users and your business's bottom line. So now, I'll hand it over to Rhea for her final thoughts about web accessibility. Wait.
So in the end, accessibility is all about empowerment. So through digital accessibility, I was able to accomplish things that I thought were not possible. So yeah, I was able to finish a degree in computer science. I was able to work in the corporate world as an IT specialist, even wrote and published my own book. And now I am an entrepreneur managing my own business. So more than the law, more than the compliance, accessibility enabled me to fully participate not only in the digital space but in the society as a whole. So from an economic perspective, accessibility is not just about meeting standards, but it's all about transforming lives. So imagine when a person like me is empowered. So we are stopped being seen as burdens on the society. We are no longer your charity case. Instead, we become contributing members of the society because we start to earn our own money, we pay our taxes, we contribute on the economic growth of the country. So accessibility is a game changer, not only for individuals like me, but for the society in general. So if you invest into accessibility, you are not just following rules, but you are actually helping unlock the potential of millions of people. And that's the true return of investment. Thank you.
All right. All right. Once again, my name is Kat Perez Juan. I hope that today's session has given you valuable insights and practical takeaways that you can bring back to your teams. So first, I'd like to extend my heartfelt thanks to SoftCon 2024. Thank you po for giving me this platform to share the importance of web accessibility. And to everyone who attended this session, thank you for being a part of this important conversation on the return on investment of digital accessibility. I'd also want to thank uh, Spaceport for my very beautiful setup. Ayan, may pumansin ng setup ko kanina. So, if you would like to connect with me or Rhea, please feel free to find us on LinkedIn. Just search for Kat with two T's, Perez Juan, and Rhea with an H, Guntalilib, or just scan the QR codes on the screen. I also want to invite you to join our growing community at Web Accessibility PH. Yan. So we are a group of web accessibility professionals, enthusiasts, and we also have members of the PWD community. We host monthly meetups, and in fact, we have one this coming October 24. So, yeah, you can scan the QR codes to join our community or sign up for the next meetup. And then lastly, if you're interested in learning more about Web Accessibility PH and our services, please visit our website, webaccessibility.ph, or scan the QR code. So before I end, I have one final question. Ayan, please ready your chats. Okay? One final question for you guys. Ready? Okay, so can we all commit to making the digital landscape more accessible and inclusive? Yes? Yes! Yay! Ayan, kasi I'm not giving you any other options. Yes lang yung option ko. Ayan, thank you so much. Ayan, so once again, thank you Softcon, thank you everyone. Let's keep pushing forward in making the digital world a better place for everyone. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Miss Kat, for that engaging presentation and very, very informative. I'm pretty sure a lot of our attendees learned a lot from this session. And moving on to our Q&A portion, we will start with Miss Danica. PH being one of the least country that cares about web accessibility, how would you pitch this to private or gov sectors to invest more in this area? In terms of testing, how can we further ensure that the site is indeed accessible to PWDs?
Okay. So, unahin ko yung second question. In terms of testing, how can we further ensure that the site is indeed accessible to PWDs? Um, so, nabanggit ko kanina, there are automated tools so that can give you a high level insight on whether the product is accessible, and then do manual testing. So usually we do testing using screen readers, yung nabanggit ni Rhea kanina, NVDA and JAWS, yan. Yeah, that. And then most importantly, uh, ask people with disabilities to, to test your product. Check with them, not just the blind community, check with different types of disabilities. Yeah. Your first question is how would you pitch this to private or government sectors? Uh, it's a difficult question. Honestly, no? Kasi while there are initiatives na nga, even DICT have their own initiative. Um, it's more of, I think what we need is a cultural change eh. Yung cultural mindset change. Because until now, we still think of disability as something that is negative, something na ay kawawa naman. 'di ba? We don't think of people with disabilities can be puwede silang maging independent pala, puwede pala silang magtrabaho. 'Di ba parang I think dun magsa-start yun, yung cultural change. Yeah. So medyo hirap yung kung paano natin ipi-pitch. I guess, you have to partner up with people with disabilities to go with you, to pitch with you. That's the best thing, to do, para makita nila yung value of it, yun. Sana nasagot ko yung question.
Thank you, Miss Kat. And we also have another one coming from Isa. How does the digital divide in the PH impact the accessibility of websites for PWDs? What strategies can be implemented to bridge this gap and ensure that everyone has equal access to online resources?
Okay. I think nasagot din siya kanina 'no. Um, yung digital divide, even not here in the Philippines meron talaga, eh, 'no. Kaya nga merong strict accessibility laws sa ibang bansa to prevent this. So it's both I'd say it's both positive and negative because dahil driven siya by laws, ibig sabihin ba, um, hindi siya morally ano ba, parang dahil lang may law susundin natin siya, parang gano'n. So, in a way medyo negative siya, pero in a way maganda na meron siya kasi otherwise paano siya mare-regulate, right? So, um yeah, mahirap talaga yung digital divide unless we ourselves change kung paano natin tingnan yun. Ripple effect kasi yun, eh. And this is why I advocate for accessibility para ma-convince ko rin kayo, tulad kayo, na nakikinig ngayon, na important pala siya, na, oo nga, pwede pala. And that's why I included Rhea's video para makita nyo na, pwede pala siyang mag-shop online if only accessible yung products namin. So yeah, I guess yun, eh, magsa-start sa'yo and then you try to share it to other people. That yun yung ginagawa namin sa Web Accessibility PH. Yeah, dun talaga, eh. I can't answer yung paano siya gagawin in a bigger scale kasi hanggang ngayon even people with disabilities, they feel left out. They feel isolated. So unless damihan natin yung mga mag-a-advocate for them, hindi tayo maririnig. So yeah, that's
Thank you for
message.
that, Miss Kat. I'm pretty sure after this session, madaming may inspire sa ating attendees. Kita naman sa mga reactions nila. And for our next question, we have here Rachel. How will the developer evaluate the accessibility of their application to ensure it is usable for people with disabilities, and what specific testing tools or strategies will they implement?
Sige, for testing tools, nabanggit ko 'to kanina for web, merong Wave and Axe, automated tool siya. And then for apps, may accessibility scanner. Hindi ako masyadong familiar sa app kasi more of, pang web yung line ko. Hindi ako more of sa apps. But for testing 'yun. So gamitin 'yun for high level, information, ano yung mga puwedeng ayusin. And then kailangan within your companies or within your organization dapat meron talagang accessibility team. And, you train them, kayo mismo, yung team na yun dapat mag-train kayo to learn kung paano, gawin. So, for testing nabanggit ko kanina yun usually it's, using screen readers. But then again, screen readers, they usually only, uh, parang ginagamit lang sila ng mga, people with visual disabilities. So, if your content has, different types of, multimedia, kunyari may videos nga, like kunyari si Netflix, very high sila sa accessibility. To the point na hindi lang English translation ang meron sila, marami silang translations. So meron talaga silang dedicated team kasi dun, eh, for that. So yeah, yun. Na yeah.
All right.
Yun po, oo.
Thank you, Miss Kat. And next question coming from Colleen. How can we convince our stakeholders to
Ah,
enhance web accessibility, addressing their concerns about potential cost increases?
okay. Very common question 'to 'no, kasi talaga namang may potential cost si accessibility, especially if gagawin siyang afterthought. Kumbaga nalabas niyo na yung product, eh, ngayon niyo palang aayusin yung accessibility. So, talagang costly siya kasi ano siya, it will need you to recheck all of your codes from the ground up, and it will need you to recheck your designs from the ground up. I think 'wag tayo mag-focus sa cost. I think mag-focus tayo sa benefits of having an accessible, product. 'No, kasi kung cost talagang meron 'yan, eh. It's similar to like if you want to add a feature siyempre magbibigay ng budget si company para mag-add ng additional feature, 'di ba? So, parang gano'n din 'yun, eh. Since na-release na yung product, definitely you can expect that it's going to be costly. So, um, yeah, that's the thing, eh, you have to do it from the beginning. Yeah, if that's the case, sabihin niyo na lang yung benefits wherein, one of it, of course, ay wider opportunities, wider audience, and banggitin niyo yung $13 trillion, ayaw niyo ba yun? $13 trillion, hello, who wouldn't want that, 'di ba? So, yeah, focus on the positives rather than the cost. Kasi kung cost talaga, talaga namang mapapa-atras yung mga ano, business owners niyan, 'di ba? So, yun.
Thank you, Miss Kat. Tama naman. Focus tayo sa benefits. And sasabi nga ni Miss Rhea kanina, yung investment, di ba? And as for our last question, coming from, all right, last question. Oh, someone anonymous from our attendees. For private organization that wanted for their products and services to have a hands-on experience by real users from fellows with disabilities, can you share where and whom we can reach out to aside from you?
Okay, I think you can reach out to NCDA, because they are the main yung, National Council for Disability Affairs, yun. Sa nabanggit ko kanina sa community namin we have, people with disabilities as members of, web accessibility. Yon, marami kaming members din. Maraming Facebook groups actually. Um, if you look for, uh, deaf groups, marami niyan. Maraming deaf communities, maraming blind communities. Madali lang maghanap kung yun lang. Sa Facebook lang marami kayong makikita, and I am pretty sure they will be very willing to help you out. Especially kasi sila yung magbe-benefit nun, eh. So yeah, just search for them. Sa social medias nagkalat sila, swear. Madali lang maghanap niyan.
All right. Thank you, Miss Kat, for answering the questions. I know a lot of our attendees wants our speaker to answer your question, pero guys, we have a very limited time for each session, but no worries naman, you may still chat Miss Kat sa ating Ermit account, okay? And that's all the time we have for this session. If you enjoyed this session, please give your rating and share your feedback about our speaker. You'll find the link in the chat box. So again, let's thank Miss Kat by clicking on the reaction button. Ayan, ang dami talagang kanina pang nag-e-engage sa atin, Miss Kat. Very interested sila sa topic ninyo. So now guys, we will have a break. You may exit this session and go to our expo hall to visit our virtual booths wherein you can connect with our exhibitors. Bye guys!
Thank you.